Perfect, man. Just another day. Beautiful day in Happy Land.
I hear that.
So anything new with you and your stable?
No, man, just working. Got a couple of dates coming up, but all the same fighters.
Okay. And what are those dates? Can you disclose
Uh,
them or?
Supposed to be December 9th for Karan Davis and January 12th for Julian Williams.
Oh wow, nice. So we
And
get
I'm
Julian.
sorry, Iran Peterson's supposed to go December 9th also.
Oh, nice. So is that gonna be on the Haney card, or is that gonna be a Top Ranks card? Whose card is that on?
The December 9th card is that's uh that's PBC card.
That's a PBC card.
hmm
Okay, okay. Um, who's gonna be? So who's gonna be headlining that?
I don't know. I, I don't even know, to be honest with you. I just worry about my guys, to be honest.
Right. So, were you able to watch that Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury fight?
Yes. Yep. I did watch it.
So, what were your initial reactions?
Um, you know, and he's a very strong guy. He's athletic. He looked a little stiff on the pads and stuff, and people was underestimating him. But he has some fighter's instincts, and Easy's first album, Biggie's first album, Jeezy, like Nas' first albums was like masterpieces because that was like they whole life. And that's how a guy is when he's getting his first big shot. He puts everything into it, man. Everything you could think of, he just puts into it. So I just saw one guy that was like super, super into it and just put his whole life into it. And I saw a guy in Fury who, he probably has some motivation issues. I mean, he says he trained for 12 weeks, but training for 12 weeks and training, you know, with the thought that you may could lose is different. He probably just didn't understand that this guy could compete with him, and sometimes a boxer's biggest gift is his biggest curse. Fury is a tremendous fighter. He beat Klitschko, he beat Deontay Wilder, so he's probably saying, this MMA guy can't mess with me, even though he trained. And then he gets in there, it's hard to keep turning that switch on and off with a guy that's motivated, that's fighting you, that's strong as hell, they got heavy hands, so that's what I seen. I could remember Holyfield for Bobby Ches many, many years ago. This is like 96ish, if I'm not mistaken. And, he struggled. So when it was time to fight Tyson, everybody's like, man, if you struggle like that with Bobby Ches, you ain't going to do nothing with Tyson. It don't work that way. It's not how boxing works. You know what I'm saying? Not up for Tyson. He knew Tyson would knock him out if he wasn't right. Well, Bobby Ches, maybe in his mind, like, this guy's a little small, ex cruiserweight, he can't mess with me. And fighters don't admit this, but they don't get up for every training camp. And the time
Mhm.
you put in training camp is not the same as how intense the training is. And I just think that Fury just probably just in his mind, nobody can convince him that that guy would be that dangerous till he got in there. And one thing about Fury, he don't look like the biggest puncher, but he's strong. He knows how to wrestle and grapple and move you around and stuff like that. He did a good job of that versus Wilder and Klitschko. He would like maul them and lace their faces and do like a lot of wrestling and grappling stuff. He's good at that. He's real clever with them dirty tricks. Well, he's fighting an MMA guy that knows all of that stuff. When he went to go
Yeah.
grappling and stuff, it didn't work like that, you know. And then once the guy got his confidence and got the knockdown, it's like, oh shit, I belong here. Now you got a big snowball in your hands, you know. So I was impressed with Ngannou. I think that Fury, you know, he just had one of those nights that a lot of great fighters have when they fighting a guy that's not supposed to be able to compete, you know, and that's why you hear fighters saying, I got to get up for this guy. You'll hear fighters saying, I don't like taking tune ups. You hear guys say that because motivation in the gym is a real thing, you know, and that's just what I saw, man. And on top of that, the dude could fight a little bit. He could fight a little bit, you
Good
know what I
box.
mean? So, like all of those things, the stars lined up, and you know, Fury had hell on his hands, man. And I'm sure he's embarrassed. You know, I'm sure you know, just so many things is going on. Like, you know, he's probably a little embarrassed. He's probably like, you know, I can't believe I'm going through that. You know, there's probably so much going on with that situation, man, because you know, it's just tough on him. Like, you know, he got his butt kicked a little bit, man. You know, like part of the game, man, you know. But here's the funny thing. It doesn't mean that Fury can't beat Usyk. That's not how this works. He'll get up for Usyk.
Okay.
He gonna be up for Usyk.
Yeah.
He gonna be ready to fight Usyk. He's gonna be like, because he knows Usyk is a great fighter. Usyk is a gold medalist. Usyk beat Joshua. His legacy is gonna be on the line. So it doesn't mean actually it kind of sucks for Usyk because Fury's gonna be motivated now. Then he's gonna be in camp training like a savage. It's just boxing is so funny like that, man. You know, but listen, bro, I still don't even know if Fury won that fight, you know, because he got to win 6 rounds. You got to remember it's the knockdown. So he has to win 6 rounds to win the fight. If you score the fight 5 rounds apiece, then you got Ngannou winning by 1 point because he got the 10-8 round. And I'm sitting there watching the fight. I actually was talking to two trainers like, damn, who's winning? And boy was like, well, Ngannou might get tired and get started. I'm like, yeah, well, if he don't, man, we got a problem on our
Yeah.
hands.
Right. Right. Right.
And he didn't get stopped. He got a chin, man. Fury hitting good shots. He hitting with an elbow. That dude didn't even blink. You know, and props to Ngannou, props to his team. I think what they said his coach was Dewey Cooper and Mike Tyson. They did a good job preparing him, man. He was really well prepared. He knew he countered Fury's right hand with a good hook. Man, he was really well prepared, man. I gotta give the guy credit. You know, I'm not an MMA guy. I don't watch MMA, but I was really impressed with him, man. Hopefully, though, that you know people don't assume he beat all of the heavyweights now because that was his night. That's not how it works. Because
Mm-hmm.
he's not gonna sneak up on anybody no more. Guys are gonna know, you know, like all right, this dude is serious. You know, he ain't no tomato can. He know how to fight. You know what I mean? So that the sneak up factor is not gonna work. And I'm not saying he can't, but everything is different. Just because he not beat, but gave the man and death, that doesn't mean he could beat everybody because everybody is different.
Mm-hmm.
Now guys are gonna really prepare for him. Also, now there's video out on him. And I was like, okay, we know what he does, we knows what he likes. You know, it's good coaches pick up on things. So it'll be interesting moving forward. But on that night, that was his night, man. And he performed, and I'm very impressed with him. And you know, props to his team, man. They did their thing. They did a good job.
N- Now that version of Fury that doesn't beat an Usyk, right?
No, but you might not get that version.
Right. Right. But that
That's what
version
people
though.
don't get. No, that version of Fury, you know, Usyk outbox him. But again, you might not get that version. I'm just telling you, boxing is weird like that, man. If some of the things that happen in the gym, if you guys seen it, the media, you be like, oh my God, your favorite fighters get their butt kicked often. You know
Mm.
what I mean? But on fight night, they show up and they do what they got to do. You know, and Fury is just one of those guys. I mean, it's obvious that he lacks motivation sometimes. Look at his physique. You know what I mean? The guy took off 2 years and blew up to 400 pounds after he won the biggest fight of his life versus Klitschko. So
Mm.
obviously, there's some things going on with it. But when he's up for a fight and he knows you're a threat, he can go. He's a tremendous fighter. So you know, I'm just telling you, and I'm listen. I'm a Usyk fan. I think Usyk is like a great fighter. He got a real claim to the pound for pound, uh, number one pound for pound guy. Even though I think it's Crawford, but Usyk has a claim to that.
Definitely
Um,
top 3 or 4.
yeah, but that don't mean Usyk gonna beat Fury. You know what I mean? It doesn't. It's a mistake if you think that's a foregone conclusion. Fury gonna be up for Usyk.
Mhm,
And I'm a guy, like I said, I'm a Usyk guy. I would like to see Usyk win because I don't believe you got to be a giant to be a great heavyweight. I don't hate it, but I just don't agree with that. You got to be 6'7", 6'8", 260, 270 pounds. A lot of times them guys be so big, they be slow. They don't have no coordination. They don't have the stamina. You know what I mean? And I don't believe you got to be that big to be a great heavyweight. Usyk and Wilder prove it. Both of those guys are sub 200-pound guys. 220, I mean, I'm sorry. So but we'll see. Hopefully they fight, man. You know, after that fight, Fury probably a little embarrassed, man. That's embarrassing. You know,
mhm.
that's why you gotta be careful taking them kind of fights, man, because you gotta show out. You can't you struggle with a guy like that if you handpick him. You know what I mean? You handpick them in this crossover kind of fight, whatever you call it. You don't want to be the guy to lose or struggle or get knocked down. Now it's embarrassing. Now you kind of devalue yourself. You devalue what you work for. You just devalue a lot of things. So um but you know, he made 40, 50 million, so whatever. You know what I
Do
mean?
you
I
do
guess
you
that
think
makes it
that
cooking.
do you think that this is like the ultimate cherry pick letdown?
Yeah, it's definitely a cherry pick.
Mm, that went wrong.
Went wrong,
Mm.
you know? Went wrong,
So,
man. They
so,
picked the
so in
wrong
your
guy,
eyes, who
man.
did you like? You was really on the. All right, I think that you believe that Francis won the fight at the end of it, like after you watched all 10.
I don't want to lie to you. I don't want to lie to you. I didn't score the fight, bro. I was like watching it in enjoyment. I didn't even know much about Francis. I'm just watching each round. I'm just looking like this is more competitive than what I thought it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Given the naked eye, I probably would have gave it to Ngannou because
Mm,
I don't think either guy won 6 rounds clean. So
mm,
we go 5 rounds apiece. You give it to him by 1 point. It was one of those draws, close kind of fights, but I wasn't scoring it. But sometimes people can overreact to that when the guy is doing better than what you think he should be doing.
mhm,
So I don't want to be that guy. I didn't score it. I didn't have it right. I wasn't writing it down, but my naked eye was telling me like, damn, this is close. Who's winning these rounds? These are some close rounds. I just kept saying it to myself, like, damn. And literally, I talked to two trainers, and my feed was faster than their feed. So I was a round or two ahead of them. And they're like, man, he probably gonna get
you're
stopped. I'm saying, no,
broadcasting it for your boys right
he didn't
now.
get stopped yet. He didn't get
Yeah.
stopped yet. I kept telling them, like, yo, he didn't get stopped yet, man. He's fighting. He didn't get stopped yet. I kept saying that. So uh I don't know who won the fight, man. I'm not mad that Fury won the fight because he was landing his jab and scoring some quick points or whatever, just to kind of he made a little adjustment. He stopped trying to be on the inside with him, and he was landing a good little jab. So I don't know. I really don't know, but my naked eye that day, I don't like the rescore fights and all that kind of stuff. I probably thought that Ngannou was edging it, but I didn't score it.
Is this worthy for a rematch?
Listen,
The money that they made?
of course it is. It was competitive. He got handpicked. So of course it's worthy of rematch. The money that they need, they already skipped the guy over the line and let him skip in front of 25 other guys. So
You
go ahead
seen
and
that,
give him a
right?
rematch. He knocked him down. He fought a hell of a fight. Of course he deserves a rematch. Once you open up Pandora's box, then you get whatever comes with that.
Now, is that like that gotta be some type of a record though, right? Like what he just like if you think about it, like one fight, he fought one fight and he's already number one in the WBC or something.
I don't know about that. Is he? I didn't see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't see him be number one in the WBC. I don't know. So I can't really say.
Right. So, like, when it comes down to people saying that boxing let us down, what do you take? What's your take in that?
I think that
That we took a loss
we kind of did.
as a community.
We kind of did, man. People draw this line and want to fight with the MMA and this, and which one's better and who does this and who does that. And we kind of did because the heavyweight champion, that's really the baddest man on the planet. And then when he goes and lose to an MMA guy in the first fight, because MMA guys are kind of like looked at as like, man, if they was good enough to be boxers, then they would. You wouldn't pick this sport with that makes less money. If you was good enough to be a boxer, you would. And now the guy comes in and almost beats the heavyweight champion in the world. You definitely take a L. You know what I mean? Listen, nobody would have let Floyd Mayweather live it down. He had lost to Conor McGregor. You take that kind of fight, you got to deliver. You cannot cherry pick that kind of fight for money and then don't deliver. You just can't do it. So Tyson Fury, man, he did it. Nobody forced him. It was his mandatory. He wanted to make the money. He wanted to put on a spectacle. So you got to live with the result. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be mad at Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury said, you know what? I'm a rematch dude and knock him out. I wouldn't be mad at him for that. I ain't gonna lie. Like, he might need to do that. He might need to do that, man.
Yeah, and
So I don't know, man. That's up to him, man. I don't know. It's just I can't even argue it with MMA guys like, yeah, we told you. I don't. It's nothing I can say because he did his thing, man. It's nothing I can say. That's why I don't even like stuff. I don't even like crossover fights like that. I don't even like guys getting certain chances like that because it kind of disrespects the hard work that fighters put into their craft for years. And if you
yeah,
don't deliver, all of this comes with it. And it ain't good. Dudes always talking about the mental health and all that. Well, Fury gonna catch it.
mm,
He can't turn off the internet. He can't turn off his social media and his interviews. He gonna catch hell, man. So you got mental health issues. That's not something that you want to do, man, because no, there's a winner and a loser in fights. And even though Ngannou lost, man, he is the winner if there ever was one.
right.
That shouldn't have happened. It should
Mm,
not have happened, man. When people kind of trying to reconcile what happened, and a lot of people just coming up with, man, they start discrediting and devaluing everything Fury did. And it's not fair. They start saying, man, Wilder must be a bum. This guy must be this. How did this guy do better with Fury than you just gonna get all of that, man. And Fury did it to himself, man. And the only way you get past that, man, is if you go in your next fight and make up, make that wrong right. He gotta deliver. He can't have no more of them kind of performances. You know what I mean? He gotta take care of business with Usyk. He gotta and he may have to get that boy a rematch.
you gotta get a get back. You got to.
Yeah, like you can't talk like the guy he talk like he is, and you know what I mean. That's just that was a really I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that before. I
Facts.
was watching the fight laying down. I was like half asleep.
Yep.
I rolled over and went on Twitter and saw people saying they walk into the ring. So I turned the fight on. I was like half asleep, and each round I start sitting up more and more. Like, damn, am I watching this? Because even the first couple rounds, Fury wasn't dominating him. Dude was like, he was real reactive. He was on his stuff,
So
man.
you was halfway watching to like really
I was
watching.
watching, but I was like watching, like, okay, Fury probably going couple rounds and, he going to take care of business. So the
Yep.
first round, I'm like, okay, dude did pretty good. He looked like a strong guy. Second round, I'm like, oh, okay, he's not doing bad. Third round, knocked him down. I'm like, wait a minute, what am I looking at? And then you keep expecting Fury to just flip the switch and start taking care of business, but that flitch wasn't in the room. He didn't have it.
Nope.
Then he tried to take him on the inside and bully him. That dude wasn't having it. Then he hit him with a dirty elbow. He didn't even blink. It was just like, man, it was it was interesting, man. That's all I can say. It was interesting. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
But Fury got to take care of business, man. He gotta get back out there and you know, I know he's obligated to Usyk. From my estimation, they probably gonna postpone that fight because Fury took some tough shots. You know, I listen to fighters, man. Sometimes fighters don't speak the language of a logical person. But if you listen to him, you could tell certain things. He said, "Man, I got hit in the back of my head again." That's what he said. So let me know that punch wasn't in the back of his head. It's a weak spot up there. Dude hit him with just a counter hook, probably hit him high right here. That's all it was. But he said that, so he probably was concussed. Man, he's hurt, and I don't expect the fight to be December 23rd. I think they're gonna push it back, give him some time to recover because he can't go in sparring like that. That dude is heavy-handed, my man. I could tell. I know a heavy-handed guy when I see he may not punch is smooth and is with the technique the other guys
The
punch with,
impact.
but he's heavy-handed. That impact, man, it was jolting Fury. There's a reason why Fury was not engaging him that much. That dude fit like bricks, man.
Yeah.
And you gotta he gonna need some time to recover. And listen, Fury like 35, right? He's had weight issues. I'm not gossiping about him, but this is public. He had weight issues, right? Drug issues, mental health issues, right?
Hmm.
Then he fought Wilder for 30 rounds. Everybody called Wilder a bum and all this kind of stuff. I don't think Wilder's a bum, but I'm not gonna argue with anybody that say different things about Wilder. That's their opinion. I think Wilder is a tremendous fighter. But the one thing we all agree on is that he's a vicious, vicious puncher. So you in the ring with that guy 30 rounds, he knocked you down 4 times. Fury might be seeing some residual effect of those fights. That hook didn't look like a big shot. Really didn't. It looked like a standard regular counter hook. And I'm like, damn. So you don't know, man. You never know. And I was at Fury Wilder 1, Fury Wilder 3. He took a beating in that third fight. Had lumps all on the side of his head. He took a beat. He won, but he took a beating. Who knows if he the same guy? You know what I mean? Like, who knows? You don't know. Who knows where he's at as far as how close to his peak that he's at. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, um, we got to see. I'm interested moving forward to where everything is at.
Do you believe that Ngannou got a future in the heavyweight division?
I think he got a future to make some money. He could
Because
definitely
like,
earn a living.
yeah,
I,
yeah,
I,
because
I'm
like,
I'm not going to say he could beat everybody because I don't know enough about him,
okay.
and I don't get too high or too low when I see something. That could be an outlier. That could be one night. Like I said, the good coaches and the good fighters, they're gonna have video on them now, so they're gonna pick up little things.
Mm,
Um, uh, but I definitely think he has a future as a marketable guy, big name guy. They could milk that Tyson Fury thing for about 3 more fights. So I
mm.
definitely think he can make some millions. Can he beat everybody? I don't know. I gotta see more. I just, it's too hard to tell with one fight.
Yeah, because all podcasts are doing now, man. They're just matching this kid up with everybody. Like that's basically what it is
And,
now.
and, and it doesn't work that way. Wilder and Fury, even though Fury can beat Wilder, Wilder presents a different thing. He's faster. He's a harder puncher. He has that one hitter quitter that he can deliver. He might hit Francis on the chin. It's not always about who can punch the hardest, is if you can brace and see the shot coming. He might hit him on the chin with one shot, knock him out. Who knows? I don't know. We got to see. But I definitely think he has a future to earn a good living. My goodness. I mean, if his people can parlay that fight for the next 3, 4 fights, dude never got worried about nothing else again in his life.
Because when we talk about the cherry picking earlier, the person that was really looking at that was Tyson. Tyson seen him spar one time and said, I could work with this. You know what I'm saying?
That's how
So
him and Tyson. I didn't know how him and Tyson came together, but
yeah, he
listen,
seen him sparring one day, and that he's like, we
Mike
could work.
Tyson is you don't. I don't. Nobody's going to agree with everything that anybody says. But Mike Tyson is like a genius, bro. He's like one of the. I don't even like to meet like people that I looked up to because I don't want to get a clouded view of them. So I'm around a lot of guys a lot of men that I like looked up to as a kid, like Vander Holyfield, Sugar Ray Leonard, those kind of guys. Like I looked, they was my fighters, but I never tried to get to know them personally. Mike Tyson is the one guy that I would love to just sit down and just talk to, like at dinner, and just talk to. I think he's a genius. So his eyes are his eyes. Sometimes, man, you see something in somebody else that don't nobody see. Sometimes you do, and
Hmm.
he did it, obviously. So I don't I love Mike Tyson, man. I revere him. I think he's a great for boxing. I love his psychological approach to boxing. So props to him for seeing something in Francis that most people didn't see.
Right, right. Now, we got some fights coming up. I never really got your clear cut breakdown when it came down to and prediction itself with the Delos Santos and Shakur Stevenson fight coming up. Um, a lot of people haven't really don't really know too much about Delos Santos besides his last two outings. Um,
Mhm.
what do you think about the matchup, and what do you think about it as far as it being? Do you think it's a better matchup than Shakur and Frank Martin, or do you think this is a dangerous fight for Shakur itself?
All fights are dangerous when you're not hand picking the guy. When you got a guy in his prime that's motivated, it can always be dangerous. De Los Santos can fight. I seen him fight a couple of times. He knocked out the kid. I forget his name, but they call him
Right,
Orion.
Venezuela.
Yeah, you got it from Benavidez camp. I seen him beat him. He can fight. Um, it's hard to pick against Shakur Stevenson though. I ain't gonna try to overthink it. Shakur Stevenson is one of the best fighters in the world. He might be the most difficult style to beat. I don't think I've ever seen him get hit with a combination. He got hit with single shot. I don't think I ever seen him get hit with like two shots, like bang bang. I don't think I ever seen him get hit like that. So uh, it's hard to pick against Stevenson. Actually, I seen Shakur in Vegas, and I said, "Man, the safest bet in boxing is Shakur Stevenson by unanimous decision." And he started laughing.
Mhm.
So, yes, De Los Santos got a chance. Yes, he's heavy-handed. Yes, he's motivated. But I just can't pick against Shakur Stevenson right now. It gotta be a special fighter to beat him. It seemed like that he trained hard and he don't have bad nights. He don't seem like he's inconsistent. Sometimes great fighters, they be inconsistent. And then you kind of look at him and be like, you know what, man, you catch him at the right time. But he's a guy that seems like every fight looked the same way. You know what I mean? So he probably really into his training. So right now, I say Shakur Stevenson by unanimous decision. But he could have his moments in the fight. Dude, we haven't seen Stevenson get hit on his chin, and that dude can punch. You know what I mean? So, I can remember one fight Stevenson didn't really engage. I think it was a tall guy. I can't remember his name. I think dude was a good puncher, and he kind of like kept him. He kind of like boxed a boring fight, and I could tell he was like mad at his performance. But I think he played it safe because dude had heavy hands. So I could see one of
The
those kind of
African
fights.
Nakatilia.
Yeah, yep, you got it, you got it. And he kind of was like, like man, like he got a little criticism for that performance. That dude could punch. So and he's in there feeling it. We not feeling it. So he kind of fought like I don't want to say a boring fight, but a safety first fight. And then everybody like, kind of crapped on the performance a little bit. So, you know, I don't look at that as a chink in his armor, but we have seen him play it safe when he's in there with a big puncher. So from everything that I hear in the gyms, around the word on the curb, that De Los Santos is a real puncher. I heard he is real puncher. Like he's a heavy-handed, sparky dude. So if he hits Shakur with something Shakur don't like, I could see Shakur playing it safe and just pecking and poking and see, you know what I mean, and just playing it safe for the decision. But I don't know. Shakur's probably matured since then, probably got a little stronger, a little more confident. So let's see how, let's see how he react. But I don't forget nothing. And that fight with the tall African dude, it did happen. So, let's see how he deals with a puncher moving forward.
Do you think that's the similar fight that we're gonna get in that fight?
I don't know because the African dude was tall. De Los Santos not that tall. But
Right.
African dude was kind of tall, so Shakur had to he had to be careful with that dude, man. That dude had heavy hands.
So we
So
might be getting a better fight then because he probably
yeah,
has
yeah,
shorter arms and he's gonna take
yeah,
more risks.
Yeah, I think so. But listen, I'm picking Shakur. I think he's a fantastic fighter, but I want to give nobody credit for nothing he haven't done yet. Let's see how he do, man. Because, like I said, I know a few people that inspired with De Los Santos. I know some coaches that been around him. I know some matchmakers, and believe it or not, people giving him a chance in this fight. Like if he hits Shakur in the chin, he gonna knock him out. I
I
don't
mean,
believe that.
it is plus 800, but
Yeah, I don't believe that. I believe Shakur will win. I'm really high on Shakur Stevenson, but we gotta see. Great fighters have had their nights, man. I could remember I had just bought um my first house, and I hadn't had like I was in there for like 3 months. I hadn't had like a lot of people over yet. And I had like a little housewarming and a fight party the same night. And the fight party was Shane Mosley versus Vernon Forrest, the first fight. And I'm sitting there watching the fight, and as the fight going, I was so confident Shane Mosley was going to win. I was betting after he got knocked down, like, because he was 38-0, 35 knockouts. Nobody had ever seen him go through anything. Like, I'm like, he gonna come back and win. This dude is the real deal. Vernon Forrest won that fight, and I never forget that, man. So anything can happen, man. It's boxing. Sometimes you just run into a dude, they have your number. We've been seeing guys have other guys' numbers. Marco Antonio Barrera, man, that dude, that's my favorite Mexican fighter. He lost to Junior Jones. I was like, damn. Like I had to see it again. Junior Jones did it again. You know what I mean? Roy Jones. Man, Roy Jones lost to Antonio Tarver, man. Like things can happen. And they certainly on the level of Shakur. So, Roy Jones could lose, anybody could lose. So we got to see the fights, let them sort it out. But you asked me my pick. I know you want a clean pick. Shakur Stevenson by unanimous decision.
so like in that fight specifically, like I asked Shakur, and I asked him, "Hey, like do you think this is the best guy in your resume?" And he says, "I don't know, I haven't fought him." Um in your eyes, who do you think when it comes down to De Los Santos and some of the guys that Shakur has been in the ring with, um, where does he place in you think his resume?
Um, I gotta see the fight, but right now I would think that Valdez was the top guy on his resume.
Valdez?
I mean, that was the unification, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Unification.
But that was at
Wonderful.
130 versus this fight being
But Valdez is
235
more
pounds.
established, bigger name, bigger. You know what I mean? So I'd say Valdez, but sometimes, man,
But
the biggest.
skills, I know what the statistics say. I want to know what you believe in
Let me
your
see a little
eyes.
bit more of De Los Santos. Let me see a little bit more. I want to see a little bit more. Be fair. You know, um, I knew more Valdez. So Valdez had the bigger win. He knocked out Burchell. This was a little bit further along as far as establishing himself. So let me just see a little bit more De Los Santos before, before I see that. Before I can say something like that.
Mm. But in at least with this fight, do you think it's going to be competitive?
See, I thought the Valdez fight was competitive in terms as the danger and him trying to win. Bro, he hurt Shakur with a body shot. It wasn't competitive as far as points. But Valdez had some good moments. You know what I mean? If you look close, he hit Shakur with a nice body shot towards the ropes. He landed some nice low shots. But Shakur is just so hard to win rounds on him. When he's winning 9 and 10 rounds, the fight don't look competitive in terms of points. But he's making it look easy. At this level, them fights ain't easy, man. So I think it's gonna be competitive because De Los Santos is a little bit bigger. If I'm not mistaken, he's a southpaw also. Um,
Yes.
Bigger puncher. I think he's a little bit bigger puncher than Valdez. So, Shakur probably have to be a little bit more careful
A little
early.
bit bigger in size as well.
Yeah, so uh I think that in terms of the danger, De Los Santos is gonna be more dangerous opponent. You know what I mean? I don't like because sometimes, man, you got guys thinking the fight be easy because they be like winning by a landslide. But in that fight, if a dude is still trying and he's landing his shots and he's still pushing you, it don't be easy to the guy in there. He just be making it look easy. You know what I mean? This is the top level of boxing. These dudes is here for a reason. So just because Shakur is winning 118, 110, that don't mean that they easy. Those are threats in there. And like I said, Valdez hurt Shakur with a body shot. You know what I mean? He got to him. It was a nasty. People didn't see it, but I seen it. And then it's funny because afterwards, Shakur talked about it in an interview. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So we looking at it as even. We looking at it as an easy fight, and Shakur like, man, I almost threw up. So I don't say that because I've seen it. I've been in fights. I mean, yo, this is no lie. I had a one of my guys had a fight, and he won the fight every round. It was a 10-round fight. He won 100 to 89 on all the judges' scorecards. But we
Mhm.
was in Canada, and he ate some bad. Well, I don't even want to say bad, but he had like some linguine, like some lobster and some noodles or whatever, and it didn't sit well with him. Bro, he had like the runs and like the whole fight, like he had like the bubbles guts. We had to run back to the locker room so we can go to the bathroom. Now imagine your post fight meal do that to you, your post weigh in meal do that to you, and you in a fight that everybody else is thinking is easy, but you're about to do a number two on yourself. So it
Mhm.
ain't easy in his mind. He's stressed out. And if the opponent would have known, like he was like passing gas in the corner. If the opponent would have known, he'd have hit him, he'd have went to his body, but we didn't let nobody know. But he'd have went to his body. We'd have been in big trouble, my man. Probably would have got stopped. You know what I mean? Like that was tough. You know what I mean? So you don't know what fights is hard and what fights is easy just because the points don't say it's because the points that are being scored is more on the other end.
Right. No, that's definitely true. Um, Now, I talked to you the other day a while ago about the Regis and Devin. And you said, on paper, it's a good fight. It looks like, Devin on paper supposed to win. You broke it down real nice, but you also said that you didn't have a pick for me in that fight.
Hmm.
Do you
You want
have
to
a
make me
pick?
pick again?
Yeah, I would like to
Uh,
know because you just so many people love the way you broke it down, but they just said like, "Yo, we just didn't know who he was gonna win." You said that Devin's the favorite, but that's not my pick.
man, the core and Delos Santos is a little bit easier for my mind to wrap around. Regis is one of those guys where when you seen, um, I like Regis by the way too. I think he's a really good fighter. But sometimes like he's caught in between styles. Like sometimes I see him, he be like throwing too much. And sometimes I see him, I'm like, damn, he look great. So, damn. I feel like that Devin will outbox him. And I think that because Devin had those rounds with Loma and he's had two back-to-back camps with Southpaws, I think Devin Dad's real smart. Bill Haney is a smart guy. So he picks Regis after he just had the tough fight with Loma. But what it does is it gives his son a chance to prepare for two Southpaws in a row. So you got two camps with two Southpaws that's kind of similar in stature. Regis is bigger than Loma, but they kind of like they both want to get inside. They both got short arms. They both southpaws. So Devins has seen that look for two camps in a row. So that's gonna, it's gonna be it's gonna be very beneficial towards him. I do wonder how Devin's gonna take a punch at 140 pounds though. I'm not saying he can't, but Regis is a hard puncher, and he's another guy that I've heard stories about that say he got like hard fists, and he has like it's not like that Tommy Hearns kind of power will hit you and you just it's like that beat you up power where he's
Mm.
just beating you and chipping your face away. It's like real heavy handed. I wonder how Devin can take those punches. I do, man. I just wonder. It's a bigger man. Loma landed some nice shots um, on Devin. Uh, Devin, for as good as these boxes, he's not unhittable. Like Shakur is really hard to hit.
Right.
Devin got good defense, but it's not like that level of defense. So I wonder, could you get back to me in a couple of weeks?
Hmm.
I want to think that Devin can win a decision, and use his jab and neutralize it. Because even though Regis is a bigger guy, bro, he got short little arms, and Devin got probably the best jab in boxing.
And
So
long arms.
yeah, so he probably could keep him away. You know what I mean? I think Regis gonna have to like channel his inner Marvin Hagler and not play with Devin, not trying to be boxing, not trying to be cute. Walk straight to him the way Hagler did Hearns, because Hearns would have outboxed Hagler if Hagler would have kind of took his time. You know what I mean? Hagler was a little methodical, but with Hearns, he didn't play with him at all. He jumped
Mm,
right on him, cut the distance, and forced him. I think that that's the kind of fight Regis got to fight, but we haven't seen that fight since 1985. You know what I mean? Almost 40 years, Marvin Hagler's special. You know what I mean? A special guy. Anybody not gonna walk to a guy like that and do that because you're scared you're gonna run out of gas. He just he laid it all on the table. You know what I mean? That was a special, special performance. I don't know if Regis is willing to do that, but if he sit back and play with Devin, I think he can get picked apart. But let me just think about. Let me look at the Loma fight again. Let me look at the Josh Taylor fight again. I want to look at some things because I think my guts is telling me that Devin can outbox him, but it's something that I'm wondering if he can take that dude punches. That dude got some short, compact, little punches, man. He hurts people, man.
mm,
Beat up and stuff after he fight him. Like they be like a little damaged. And you like, damn. And he don't load up on nothing. Everything is just short and compact. So telling me he got really hard fists, he's a strong guy. And I'm sure he's hearing all of the criticism of his last performance. So he's gonna be up for this fight. You know
mm,
what I mean? So I'm curious. I'm curious. Let me just think about it a little more. But honestly, I'm leaning towards Devin by decision.
mm. Yeah. And like, when you said, Bill Haney's smart, you meant by the matchmaking skills of what,
Well, I just think he did a great job with his son.
the preparation of like two southpaws to southpaws.
Everything, everything. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
If you gonna fight a southpaw, then you like if you wanna like if let's say you was fighting a southpaw, right? Then what you would do is your tune up, you probably would get another southpaw. You know what I'm saying? So you can have that similar in stature. Like that's what smart guys do because that what that does is that allows you to have two camps to get prepared for one person.
Mm,
Um, like I said, then he fought Tyson, both short guys. It's just smart matchmaking. When you really know what you're looking at, is good. But I just think he did a great job with Devin all around the board. You know what I mean? From guiding his career early to picking the right fights to just doing everything. Devin's in a good place in boxing right now. Obviously, got to keep winning. So his talent is allowing Bill to work. But I think Bill did a excellent job with his son. He never got locked in with no promoters too early. They're doing their own thing. It's a great blueprint and plan that they need. And Devin got to deliver. This is a tough fight. For your first fight at 140, but I respect them. Let's see what they do and keep moving on. But one thing Devin can never complain about is the job that his dad did with him. Man, did a great job with him. I respect both of them, and that's the way it should be, man.
right. Now, have you gave it thought with the Boo Boo and David Benavidez fight?
Um, well, let me charge my phone.
Have you
I
seen
have
enough Boo
actually.
Boo?
I have actually, but I haven't seen enough boo boo under this kind of heat.
It's a lot of heat. Yeah,
It's
it's
a
a big
lot of heat, brother. David Benavidez, bring it. People talk about he don't have no footwork and this, that, and the other. He's flawed here, but his sum total outweighs his parts broken down. That boy bring a lot of heat. He's a mean dude, man, and he come. You know, um, the second half of the fight, I gotta see if Boo Boo can stand up, man, because it ain't gonna be easy. When I say stand up, I mean just take that mental pressure of a dude coming at you all night long, throwing them fast combinations, hitting you to the head and body, and just going. It's not. Um, it ain't gonna be easy, you know. Um, but David do take some time to get warmed up. Boo Boo got to see some stuff that Caleb did to him. Um, um, David don't have a pedigree that Boo Boo got. As far as being an outstanding amateur, that does count. You know what I mean? As as like scoring points and things like that. But Boo Boo just hasn't been in with nobody near uh, David. So it's really hard to say. Conventional wisdom says that David comes on in the second half and wins the fight. But, Boo Boo may be a great fighter. We just don't know it. It could be possible. Unfortunately, he's 30 and he never had a chance to show it. So you're dealing with a guy that's a two division champion. He's been a pro like what 15 years. We still don't really know how good he is. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's all his fault. You know what I mean? Boxing is funny, politics and things like that, but he hasn't fought the guys on the level to really like break it down. Like we don't even know if he could take a punch. We don't know how he's going to react in a 50-50 fight where he's not winning, where he don't know if he's winning going into certain parts of the fight. What's his best opponent? What would you say? Jack Colkay? Maybe
Yeah.
Liam Williams? We don't even know. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So it's hard to say. Um, but like I said, conventional wisdom says that David will probably win, but it's going to be a tough fight because Boo Boo's a winner. He's never lost. He has an awkward style, and I wish I could give a better assessment, but I haven't even seen him with anywhere close to David Benavidez. You know what I mean? I haven't. I'm like, it's so much stuff that I don't know about him. And when I say I don't know, is I don't know about it with the pressure on, like in there versus an elite fighter, because it's
Mhm.
different. Your mind, your body gets more fatigued when you're in there with a threat like that. You know what I mean? So it's hard to say. It's hard to say. One thing that I notice about Andre, I don't think he's feather fisted. People say he can't punch, but I don't think that's it. He hurts and knocks everybody down. It's just that he don't finish. He don't close the show.
Mhm.
So I wonder why he has this trouble like close it and show if a guy don't let him get him out of there early. Like that always puzzled me because he'll get a knockdown and then the guy will be fighting. And the next thing you know, he'll cruise to like a boring decision and then he'll get criticism. But I'm like, he can punch because he knocked him down. He just don't like with Crawford, if he outclasses you, he still stops you. Where Boo Boo outclasses you, he don't stop you. So it makes me wonder what's going on with that. But it's a good fight because anytime a guy comes off of a tough victory where he lost some rounds, the next guy going in can kind of capitalize off of the game plan. Here's what I mean by that. I thought Caleb did perfect with him the first 6 rounds. It couldn't have went scripted no better way. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Everything that we thought he was, he was. He gave up all the shots that we thought he was. He held his hands up and in like he thought. He walked even like we thought he was. Um, but his intangible is his stamina and his will. That's something that's hard to measure. So he was able to come on in the second half of the fight. But now Boo Boo and his team, they could just watch the first 6 rounds of the fight. And like, look what Caleb did. He don't defend this punch that well. He don't do that. Look what he did. They'll even be able to tell when David got his second win and be able to turn it up. So now you got more video. That's why, great fighters, you know, um, one of the measures of great fighters is their consistency. Because when you can be consistent at the top level after everybody has the video on you and after everybody has, oh, this is his weakness. Let me work on this.
They
And you
got
can
the
still
drop.
keep you got it. And you can still keep winning fights. That shows that you're special. That shows your greatness. So now we got to see if David can overcome, his bad start versus Caleb. We got to see if David. Another thing, we got David hated Caleb. They cool now, but he hated him. So his motivation in that fight was just sick. You know what I mean? Like honestly, man, if I could have did it my way, I wouldn't have fought David right then. I know Caleb wanted to fight him, but I would have got one more fight with him because I knew how motivated he was going to be. You know what I mean?
To not
But
shaking their hands to giving each other hugs is funny.
yeah, he was motivated though. So when you do like that, bro, it ain't no problem getting up training. Now you got David got his Super Bowl out of the way. He got his chance. So now I'm curious to see if he could put everything into another camp the way he did Caleb. Like he even came in the fight 166 pounds.
Mm.
And he's a huge guy. You know what I mean? Like he was even light for the fight. He was just crazy. Like his eyes that weekend, you could tell. I'm like, man, we got a fight on our hands.
Mhm.
That's why I always say how proud I am to of Caleb because I know how motivated David was for that fight. He had like a mental coach. Like like he really put his thing into that fight. So I want to see if he could do that again because obviously he has to train really hard to make the weight and maintain his style. He can't train like no regular fighter. He got to go 100 miles an hour. He's a huge guy to make that weight, and eventually that's going to sap you. So, it's a lot of things that I wonder. But conventional wisdom, from what we know about both, I say David probably would take the fight over late. But I'm not counting Boo Boo out by a long shot.
No.
Boo Boo got a high IQ, and he's a winner. And Andre Rozier is really, really good in the corner. He's good in the corner. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He knows how to get you through rounds. He gives clear, precise instructions. So it's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a good fight, man. It's always hard to give a guy his first so it's gonna be a good fight. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Tank tweeted that, all these guys, they gotta see me. And he's speaking upon, like, the Tiafimos, the Haney, the Shakurs, and how he matches up with them. He's a little older than those guys.
Yeah.
But in the same time, he basically is the cash cow out of that little group. You know what I'm saying? He's the
Hmm.
money grab. And guys like, he's had a lot of amateur, experience, but when it comes down to the international, I'm not sure if he really was in depth like that. But right now, when it comes to guys like, you know, Shakur and Haney, who do you think gives them, Tank the harder task? Who do you think is like the better fighter to not be able to get hit but still keep, Tank honest?
I'm gonna go with somebody you didn't name.
Tiafimo?
Yep.
I mentioned him first.
Oh,
But
did you?
yeah, and when it came down to the bunch, because I remember when we broke down that fight, you broke it down like
Bro,
crazy. I
if
think that the
Teofimo is on, he's a tough fight for Tank because he punches hard enough where Tank got to be careful going in there.
mm,
You know what I mean? And Tank is a master counter puncher, but Teofimo got great power, great hand speed, great pedigree. He got everything Tank got, except he a little bit bigger. I think Tank probably is a little bit better puncher, but it's not Bob landslide. Teofimo is a tough fight for Tank if he right. If that
mm,
boy right and he can box and he been in tough and they didn't put him in there with elite southpaws. Loma and Josh
that's
Taylor
right.
are pound for pound guys. That's the fight. And I ain't saying Devin and Shakur not, but people kind of because Teofimo lost to George Kambosos, like Teofimo is a tough fight for Tank.
Mm,
I heard Teofimo say something, and I just shook my head like, God damn it, man! Got an IQ.
yeah,
It's a
he can't
shame he
go for
never
a
got to
minute.
avenge his fight versus George Kambosos because he way better than Kambosos, man. He just a better fighter. But
Mm-hmm.
he said something. He said, "I know how you beat Tank. Just don't commit." I was like, he right. Because I'm watching Ryan fight, and me and Joe Goosen are friends. I'm saying to myself, why is he going balls to the wall in the second round? I know Joe ain't telling him that. I
Mm,
know he didn't. Why would you commit? Stay back. Tank is really not a seek and destroy fighter. He's really a master counterpuncher. So he
mm,
slide up on you and make you punch, and then you counterpunch and knock your head off. He's a master counterpuncher. But the way he do it is not like, you know, he coming like Joe Frazier or like even like Earl Spence, we just walking you down and hammering you. He slides up on you and he make you like punch because you don't know, you know, he's always changing levels. So you don't know if he's gonna loop something over or throw something underneath and knock you out. So it kind of puts you in a fight or flight mode, and then you start throwing big punches, and right in between them, he just knocks you out.
mm,
But Tiafimo, when he said that, I was like, you know what? He's the one that could pull it off. He the one that could pull it off. And I ain't saying Shakur and Devin can't. I'm not saying they can't at all. But we've seen Teofimo in there rough. You know what I mean?
But
We've
you have,
seen him in there. We've seen
but
him in there rough.
you named him first, so there's a reason why you named him first for why.
Just because I've seen more. In this era, guys they take a long time to take big fights.
True.
Teofimo for Loma, when he fight him? 2020? He's like 23. You know what I mean? He's the first
He
one
was
out of all
young.
those guys that took that kind of fight.
Yep.
And then he moves up against Josh Taylor. I know because I bet on him. He's a
Me
big
too.
underdog. He's a
Yeah.
big underdog in that fight. Well,
Yep.
because we talked before the fight.
Yep.
So I'm like, wow, this dude is bad, man. I don't know him as a person, I speak to him and say what's up, but Teofimo Lopez could fight. I'm really impressed with that Josh Taylor performance, bro. If it wasn't for Terrence Crawford and what he did to Earl Spence, that's the performance of the year. That was a great boxing exhibition. He was this close to knocking Josh Taylor out, bro.
Mm.
Um, so Teofimo Lopez, I think his style and him being up under the gun with that kind of experience, because Josh Taylor will start cracking him with some nice shots and his chin held up. And I think that even though Teofimo is not the tallest guy, Teofimo Lopez got a lot of range. He know how to keep you. Look at the fight with Loma. Loma closed the range on Devin way earlier than he did Teofimo. Look real
Yeah.
close. Like
Yes.
it took him like 5-6 rounds to close the
Yeah.
range against
Yeah.
Teofimo.
Tio and Loma, they were dancing. They were dancing.
Yeah, it took Loma some time. Everybody said it was the shoulder that may have been, but it was also the range and that power. Where it was Devin, after a couple of rounds, he closed that range. Devin did great, but it's just different.
Mm.
Teofimo, it took him literally like 6 rounds. I'm the biggest Loma fan in the world. I'm like, what are you waiting on? I'm like, you know why you waiting? Because that boy got some heat behind them punches.
Yep.
So
Makes a difference.
Teofimo, man, Teofimo, if he right mentally, that boy a problem, man.
Is he the
That's
top out of all those guys that I mentioned?
I
Like out
don't
the
know.
two?
I don't know because the Cambosis fight did happen.
Yep.
Can't happen. I think they got to fight and sort it out. I think they got to fight because I'm a big Tank fan too. I'm one of the people that got Tank on the pound for pound list, and people tell me that I'm crazy. I'm a huge Tank fan. I think Tank is special, but they got to fight. You know what I mean? If we judging all of them, if we fair, not personal relations, just fair, Teofimo got the best resume.
Yeah. Out of all of them.
Everybody, got to keep it real.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got to keep it real. If and I don't have a person. I never met Tank. You know what I mean? I met Shakur, Teofimo, and Devin in passing, but I'm probably coolest with Devin. But if we just talking just straight resume, no personal feelings, it's Teofimo.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Josh Taylor was the guy at 140. He might have got stripped of some belts. That was the lineal ring champion. Loma was the number one pound for pound fighter in the world. Teofimo fought them both
Yeah.
as an underdog. The other
Josh
guys
Taylor
haven't
was
even taken
undisputed.
fights. They haven't even taken fights as underdogs yet. That's a difference.
Mm.
Teofimo, you know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate he don't get looked at as them because of the Cambosis fight, which is his fault. You know what I mean? You can't lose to that kind of guy and expect everybody to hold you at the same caliber. Devin did what he was supposed to do. He went and beat the guy that beat him twice. So there's nothing wrong with that. But when Teofimo is hot and when he on, he is a rough night. He got a serious all-around game. I would just love to see the chess match between him and Tank. I would love to see like how they going, how they would line up, how they would do what they do. I would love to see that chess match because it would be a great chess match, man.
Mm. One that you
It
just really can't unfold.
would be a great. Him and Tank and Shakur would be a great chess match because I think Tank will have to press Shakur. I think he would have to press Shakur,
And he
and
don't like
then
that. He like you to come in.
he wants you to come in. You got it. So I think that we would have to see Tank make a hell of an adjustment in that fight. Not saying he can't, but I would like to see that stylistically, Shakur would be a tough fight. But I'm gonna tell you a tough fight for him in the DMV area, a savage fight.
Gary.
Gary Antoine Russell. That's a fight. And guess what? He ain't gonna have to look for that kid.
Because he's there all the time.
He
Who we
go
talking
come.
about? You talking about Tank and Gary, or you talking about?
Yeah, because they both from the DMV, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
You understand what I'm saying? So we talking about they 135, 140. I don't think Russell's kind of big. I don't know if he can make.
Russell said he can make 135 for Tank.
That's fine. I don't like to get into that because when guys say they can make a weight, I gotta see you do it. He ain't little, but
Yeah, you huge. Right.
that boy can fight. You know what I mean? That's a fight. I would love to see that fight. Listen, he might be a little big for Tank. That boy's strong, man.
He's
He
big.
dog strong, and he got pedigree also. And he is the only person to beat Jaron Ennis
I
as
know.
an amateur. And I think Boots might be the best fighter in the world that don't nobody know it. Like
Hey,
nobody, no people don't know it yet because he haven't had the opportunity. All of those guys like was around amateurs with Boots, and they all like give him props. You don't hear nobody disrespect him and say he ain't that. You know what I mean? Bro, nobody's even gonna move up to 47.
but there's only one guy that can.
Oh,
Gary Antoine Russell.
and he don't even say it. He don't even say it. He just be like, "Yo, this would be a great fight between me and him," because he know Boots beat him, and then I think he beat Boots more times though. But I
Three to
think
one.
Gary Russell, yeah, I think Gary Russell and Tank, that would be like in the DMV, that would shut everything down. But Russell is a big guy, so I don't know if they would chance Tank with that guy because he come downhill. He like a more athletic version of James Kirkland. He remind me of a mix of Kirkland and Sean Porter, but he probably a little bit more athletic and a bigger puncher than them. He's a monster. I would love to see that fight because he kind of plays in the Tank's hands coming to him because Tank like you to counter.
Right.
He like to be the counter puncher, but I don't know if the dude too big. You know what I mean? He might be too big and too strong. So you got to see. You know what I mean? That would be a tremendous fight, man. I would. I don't even have a winner. Was just thinking like, wow, that would be just a. I'm just like a boxing purist. So their styles would be perfect because he would come see Tank and Teofimo and Tank and Shakur. I would enjoy it because I like fights and I just like watching people try to deal with different styles. But the average fan are probably not like that fight because they will want more action. You know what I mean? They will want him to open up a little bit more. With
Mhm.
Gary Russell and Tank, you ain't gotta worry about that. Them jokers are gonna be throwing heat because Gary Russell stepped right to you.
They're gonna
You know
want to
what I
get
mean?
respect. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be wow. That would be great. I would love to see that.
I think a lot of people want to see Antoine Russell against Subriel Matias for that
Oh
IBF championship.
man, that would be the year.
A lot of people think that, oh, when I spoke to Gary about it, he told me that he's rock'em sock'em robots. But on your half, I know that you see the great in a lot of, fighters. And what do you think about Subriel Matias in the 140 division and even that matchup that can be made?
I would favor Russell over him, but that would be a hell of a fight. I think that when you get two big punches like that, the one who is more technically sound usually wins. So, like, remember Triple G fought Lemieux?
Hmm.
Triple G, when you get them two brutal kind of punchers, usually Hagler fought Mugabe. When you get them level of punchers in there, even just recently with Joe Smith versus Beaterbev, the one that's a little bit more technically sound and a little bit more precise with his craft, they usually win that fight. So I would favor Russell, but I think it would be a hell of a fight.
Yeah, we seen that with Zordo Ramirez versus Smith. The one that was more technically sound made the fight look very easy.
Yeah, especially when you're dealing with big punchers because the precision allows it. But um, I would like to see it though. Obviously, he still has to do it. Matthias is the champion. But I would, if you asking me, I would favor Russell probably.
Yeah.
hmm I think Russell will be just a little bit too precise, and I think the brothers are, they do a good job training them. They got a good thing going. Me and Gary Russell Jr., that's my man. I think he's a good trainer. He kind of got their pop system, so I think they all right-handed, but they all fight southpaw. They got their own little thing going down there. So I think that Gary Russell will have a little bit of an edge. Antoine Russell, I'm sorry. Antoine Russell will have a little bit of an edge, but Tia's a monster. You got to deal with it because I seen Antoine Russell have a little bit of trouble versus Francis Bartholomew. Had some
Yep.
trouble that fight. So. Gotta, like I said, gotta see. You gotta go out there and do it, man.
In that Benavidez card, there's a title fight at 160. There's Jose Benavidez versus Jamal Charlo, and it's
Is
like
that gonna be for the title?
that's gonna be for their title, yeah, at 60. Finally, uh, but at the same time, it's like it's funny because Caleb, he fits right in that mix because like I remember him having controversy in the Benavidez gym with Jose, and then obviously the controversy with the mega smack with Jamal, and they've been very outspoken upon wanting to make that matchup, but like just this fight alone, knowing that Jamal had a crazy layoff, and then Jose Benavidez only fought one time at 160 pounds, like probably like 3 months ago. This is like on paper supposed to be a fight for Jamal, but in your eyes, looking at just Jose training and stuff like that, and who he is, I mean, he gave some problems to Crawford. Um, Talk about like that matchup at itself. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously Caleb is probably going to be able to get. I don't know if Jamal and Caleb would still be a thing if Jose beats him.
They won't be.
Right. But Jose got
He
controversy
couldn't
still,
lose
that
to.
and they'll bring that content and just push it.
Yeah, he couldn't. He couldn't. He can't lose to Jose Benavidez Jr. and still fight Caleb at 168. Nobody would buy it. So, um, but I actually, Jamal been off about 2.5 years, man, and Jose Benavidez Jr. That fight was down at the MGM in Maryland. His last fight, and
Yep.
he didn't look bad. He looked good. He's not a big puncher at 160, but he knows what he's doing. He got pedigree, and he got a sparring partner that might be better than Jamal and his brother.
True.
You know what I mean? He's been active. I don't know if Jamal could beat Benavidez right now. David, I'm talking about. So he spars his brother. You know what I mean? Um, I don't think there's no easy fight for Jamal. You know what I'm saying? Being off 2.5 years, I don't know what he's doing in his personal time. This kid gonna be motivated. They got a good camp over there with Benavidez. Uh, I'm not. I think Jamal should win the fight, obviously, but I seen Jamal struggle versus with Montiel. You know
Right.
what I mean? And Montiel's not that far off from Benavidez in terms of ability, if you're being honest and being fair. And the
Mhm.
second half of that fight with Montiel was a hard fight. I don't think Benavidez is the puncher, and I don't know if he's gonna be able to defend Jamal's jab. Jamal got a jab like a truck. His jab like a light heavyweight. So I don't know if he's gonna be able to defend his jab, but he better be right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't boxing boxing is a game of repetition. It's skill. Skill is built on repetition. And when you sit out for 2.5 years, you not like really, really working on your craft, you can lose it. You know what I mean? That's something that you could lose. You could lose some of your skill if you don't work on them and keep cultivating it. So Jamal has said he's had some personal issues. Let's see if he can come back. Obviously, he should be the favorite, but I don't look at this fight as a walk in the park. Benavidez has been probably fought 4 or 5 times since Jamal and last fought, and he
Mhm.
got a good camp. You know what I mean? And he let him get a comeback fight a couple months ago. Don't forget that. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be a good fight.
Yeah, because everyone at the end of the day, they want that Canelo fight, and it's like he's still in talks of that as well with the winner of David and Boo Boo, but they also talking about if Mungia can beat John Ryder, he can possibly get Canelo Alvarez Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, jeez. I don't want to comment on that, man.
You're funny. Yeah. So you need to see the winner of Boo Boo and David fight Canelo.
David Benavidez deserved the shot. That's
Mm,
just he deserves the shot. If you're honest, man. But it's not how boxing works. And I just went up against Benavidez, but I'm a really fair, objective guy. Munguia don't deserve that shot over David Benavidez. Let's
mhm.
be honest. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying nothing bad about Munguia, but he didn't even want to fight for the title at 160.
Mm,
He had title shots at 160 that he didn't want to take
facts.
against the Johnny Beck dude and Boo Boo, and he had 68. He get that fight. I mean, people talk about like guys missing fights and not doing this. I mean, what did dude leave? He left 154 like 2019. We in
Mm,
2023, still haven't fought for another title and he undefeated. Doesn't even make any sense. Who takes 4 years when you can just move up and, with your record and the fact that you was champion in another division and just get a title shot?
mm,
So, I mean, it's the way boxing works. But if David Benavidez beat Boo Boo Andre, then you know he's the guy. He's been with the interim champion for like 2 years. I mean,
mm.
come on, it's not rocket science. It's pretty obvious who deserves the shot. So, you know, Munguia can get the shot. I'm happy for him. Happy for his family or whatever. They're gonna make a bunch of money. You know, it's generational money, and that's what we all in this for. But if you're talking about who deserves the shot, if everybody's looking for the sweepstakes of the 8-figure payday because you're getting 10 and up if you fight Canelo or close to it, you know, is Benavidez deserve it. You know, that's the guy everybody will stop what they doing to watch him fight. And I think Canelo ain't scared of nobody. I don't think he's scared of him. I just think that they, you know, Canelo can afford to wait things out a little bit. So, you know, um, we'll see. You know, we'll see how that go. I'm not trying to lobby for nobody else to get a fight. You know, it don't got nothing to do with me. But I definitely think that Benavidez deserves the shot at Canelo, especially if he beats Demetrius Andre.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Well, Breadman, thank you for chopping it up with me today, man. I appreciate you. Um, I know we've been trying to get it with each other real soon, but I know you stay busy at the gym and with the kids and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And Halloween was yesterday too, so I'm pretty sure you was busy.
I was trick or treating last night. That's why I couldn't do it, man. Well, I wasn't trick or treating. I was following them in the car, man, while they
Oh,
was walking around. Yeah,
oh, you was being the security guard. Now I see you.
man, they my kids, man. You know, it's crazy out here. So
It get
I
crazy
didn't
on
bother them.
Halloween.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. So I definitely got in my car and followed them around. They're 11 and 12, but they still my kids, man.
Right, right, 100%. Hey, Brett, shout out your social medias for some of these fans to be able to check you out, where they can find you on Twitter,
Oh,
Instagram, all the other
what am
stuff.
I on Twitter? Breadman Boxing.
Yeah.
That's where I talked about boxing at. So Breadman Boxing on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. And then your Instagram.
Shit, I don't even know. I think it's the bread underscore man or the underscore bread man, one of them. But I don't talk about boxing really on
On Instagram.
Instagram. It's better on Twitter. It's Breadman Boxing on Twitter. That's where I kind of talk about sports a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, IG just be for my kids mostly.
Yeah. Yo, now, real quick, because I know you used to be a basketball coach. Like, what you think about the NBA now? From like since you let your coaching career in basketball.
I used to play basketball. I wasn't a coach.
Oh, you used to play it. Okay.
I used to play
Well,
basketball.
when you stop balling up and you start doing back in the day basketball to where it's transitioned to now, it's a lot
You know,
faster pace.
yeah, guys are better shot makers today, but every era has their thing. It's hard to compare eras. Like guys will say, well, this guy couldn't play in that era. If you're a great player, what you'll do is you'll just evolve and you would have adjusted to the era you in. Like Michael Jordan will still be the best player. Don't get it twisted, dog.
Offensively,
If he got the
defensively.
possessions that these guys is getting, bro, he averaged 45 points a game, man.
Yeah.
Trust me, I seen Michael. Nobody's better than Michael Jordan.
Mm.
So it's always there was just a debate with James Harden and Allen Iverson. I don't see what the debate is. Allen Iverson's a better player, but
Mm.
people won't want to argue that. But he's a better player. You know what I mean? Give you more. You know, who would you rather have in a big game, Allen Iverson or James Harden? Let's be honest. Like, come on, man.
AI,
If
baby.
people say, well, James Harden, the guy put it on Twitter, James Harden got more scoring titles, but he don't. Allen Iverson got 4 scoring titles. I'm like, bro, that's the wrong argument. That's not even true. He got 4 scoring titles. I think he got 3 or 4 steal titles. It's
Mm.
not close, bro. What are we talking about? James Harden. You know what AI would do in this era? He won 4 scoring titles with McGrady, Kobe, and Shaq all in their primes. And he won 4 scoring titles. I don't even like the so
Yeah.
but every era, these guys is great. LeBron James to me is the second best player of all time. there's some great players in this era, but every era is different. The rules changes, the systems changes. The one thing that I do notice that these guys are really good shot makers and shooters. They're real good shot makers and shooters in this era. But great
Pulling
players,
up way back there.
yeah. Steph Curry kind of changed the game, but great players, man, they figure it out in every era. That's what they do. Steph Curry could play in the '80s, and Isaiah Thomas could play now. It's just how it is.
Facts.
The
100%.
marginal players will have a little different. The marginal players, but the great ones, they gonna play anywhere.
Right. Right. Well, Brad, appreciate your time, man. Thank you.
Yep. All right, my man. Later.
God bless. There you guys have it. Coach Breadman. Didn't want to take too much of his time as we was going for an hour plus. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Mill City Boxing. Make sure you get these likes up too as well, man. You don't like me? Y'all don't like me? No likes? What's going on? So what we talking about here? Um, some great intel with Breadman. I would have to say, always a guy that breaks down fights very well. We could have went on and on and on, man. I ain't gonna hold you. But make sure you guys smash the like button, man. I would appreciate it. This was a great segment. A lot of breakdown. I broke down at least like 7 to 8 fights there. And just his intake on what the Fury and Ngannou fight was. Um, I appreciate each and every single one of y'all for tapping in with me, man. It was a pleasure. I'll probably be doing one more with Malik Scott. I know we got probably Malik Scott will be the last one today, just to get his intake on what some of these fights, but not just some of the fights, but the Tyson Fury itself. Obviously, Malik Scott is the trainer of Deontay Wilder, the Bronze Bomber. So you could obviously get some intel on what he thought about that Fury and Ngannou fight, and just fights with Wilder. Period. Where he's at in his life, and just much more. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, press the notification button. Always helps, and you already know. Make sure you tap that like button. This is Mill City Boxing, home of the high level pro boxing media. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. Mill, who do you have this weekend? Henry LeBron or William Foster? I got LeBron. Jackie Hernandez, thank you. Appreciate you guys. Good night. Have a good night if I don't get to see y'all. The William Foster, that's a hard fight with Henry LeBron. Um, I want William Foster to win, but Henry LeBron is a good fighter. Um, William Foster, honestly, he's also a good fighter. It's a good fight. I really don't got a pick for that one, man. To be honest with you, I got an interview coming up with Foster after his fight, so you guys could definitely check that out as well. Um, but keep your head up, G. Good, good insight. Absolutely, absolutely. Appreciate each and every single one of y'all. Be tapping in a little bit later. Um, and have a good day.